The surprise announcement of Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection during the February 2024 Nintendo Direct was pretty awesome. The prospect of having an online game of this caliber on the Switch set in the Star Wars universe was really exciting. Well, the game is here, and, well, let's talk about it, I guess. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Sound off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. As always, you can find this review over on our website, thefamicast.com, in written form. Now, for this video, we're taking a look at the Switch version of the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection in this review. Although there are two games in the package, both control almost identically with a few minor exceptions here. Now, the first Battlefront allows players to view the action in either first or third person view with the click of the left stick, while Battlefront 2 only allows for a first person view. Unless you go in and change it in options beforehand. Now, the second title also gives players the ability to sprint for a limited time. Now, by and large, controls here are pretty tight. You know, I would have loved to see the addition of gyro here to help with aiming, but, you know, it is what it is. Several different classes are available for each faction in the game while you're playing. Now, while many of these are similar regardless of the team you play as, there are some special classes for each. Vehicles and gun turrets are also scattered throughout the levels, offering more firepower and maneuverability. Hero characters are also a part of Star Wars Battlefront. Now, although the first game doesn't really allow players to take control of these, you're actually able to fight alongside them. Now, Battlefront 2, however, lets players take control of a number of these, including the likes of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, Count Dooku, and many more. Now, in total, there are 19 available in this game. Now, the biggest difference control-wise between the heroes and regular grunts is the perspective. You know, in most cases, these are going to be playable in third person. Now, gameplay overall here, I think, just generally speaking, it's pretty solid. I think the only thing that both games are missing is some kind of like a melee attack, like if you're like a regular grunt trooper or whatever, but, you know, hey, that's not a deal breaker or anything. Outside of online play, which we'll touch on here in a bit, there are a handful of single-player modes on offer. Now, while both games are a little bit different, they do offer very similar single-player modes. Now, outside of the main campaigns, both titles offer something called Galactic Conquest. Now, this mode has some light strategy elements focusing on taking over planets combined with the traditional gameplay that the series is known for. Now, Battlefront 1 has two single-player campaigns: the Clone Wars campaign and the Galactic Civil War campaign. These put players through several large-scale battles and conquest-based style levels. Now, while there are some light story elements and video clips played before some of these, the main focus here is almost entirely on action. A Battlefront 2 single-player campaign, called The Rise of the Empire, follows the exploits of the 501st Legion from their first battle at Geonosis. The story is told through the perspective of an unnamed clone trooper, which is actually voiced by Temuera Morrison, the actor that played Jango Fett in The Clones. Now, missions here are actually quite a bit more complex, and more so than like a simply repurposed version of like a conquest mode type of a thing or something. I mean, you have various mission objectives, the ability to pilot craft, you can play as Jedi, and more. Now, outside of the appeal of online, this is actually a pretty legit mode to play in the game upon the original release and also right now. Now, let's be real, the main draw of this collection is the online multiplayer. Now, of course, the Classic Collection saw a pretty disastrous launch on all platforms. Players had trouble connecting, and there just simply weren't enough servers. The first game initially offered just 2 dedicated servers here on the Switch version, while the second had 9. Now, even when I popped into play, it was pretty much a ghost town with hardly anybody online. Now, as of right now, it's been about 2 weeks since launch, and Aspyr has finally released their first update to the game on the Switch. This brought a significant increase in the number of servers and players. Now, oddly enough, when I got connected to people online around launch, I really didn't have too many issues getting connected. I mean, probably just because I wasn't playing with too many people. The ping is pretty high, but overall is pretty smooth. The increase in players with this update hasn't changed things too much for me. You know, I will say, I didn't get a chance to capture this though, but basically right after this update went live, I went into a match with 54 people on Battlefront 2, and it was okay. As you can kind of see in some of the footage here, this isn't nearly as big of a match with as many people, but it's a little bit kind of chugging a little bit, kind of a little bit jerky here and there. But I mean, I don't feel that as a player. I just see that with the other players and stuff, so that's kind of annoying. So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see where things go from here. I mean, I'm happy that Aspyr addressed these issues as quickly as they did. I mean, sure, the Steam version got an update well ahead of the Switch, and I get that. I'm not a developer, but from what I've read over the years regarding Switch and updates and stuff like that, sometimes updates just take time to get through Nintendo's verification process or whatever it's called. So, but honestly, that's not an excuse. I'm baffled as to why Aspyr released this collection in the state that it was at launch. I mean, if you're looking for a way to sour gamers on your company and your game, I mean, this is definitely the way to make a lot of people upset. The only good news here is now that, yes, things are working to varying degrees of success here. I'll be curious to hear from you guys out there about what your online experiences have been after the update or even before the update. Just let us know. The visual upgrade to the games is pretty decent here, believe it or not. I think the character models look sharp, as do the environments and the vehicles. Of course, both titles still retain the same geometry and like all that type of stuff that was found in the original games, which might turn some people off. However, I think most people will know what they're getting into with this, so I don't think it's a big deal. It looks fine. I think Aspyr proved again that they can make these old games look modern enough, and I think they did a bang-up job here. Now, this is my first experience playing both of these games, and I was pretty impressed with both the presentation and the sound that was on offer here, too. Now, I really like the menus in Battlefront 2 as they contain, like, these two video clips that are running simultaneously. Even the menu in the first title, I think it's pretty cool, offering these stylized, like, vehicles coming straight out of the films that you'll see in the background. The voice acting here, found in both games, is pretty cool too. Of course, with the whole story mode in 2, it was just a little bit better. But it was cool just to have these in both of those single-player modes. Now, it's not all good here. Throughout both games, you will find various video clips pulled straight out of the classic films. Now, while I think it's pretty cool to have this type of an addition into a game, I couldn't help but notice some inconsistencies with the upscale. On the scenes with little to no movement, I think things look great, really sharp. However, when action picks up, or there's just basically a lot of movement on the screen, you'll definitely notice a lot of artifacting and stuff like that. Obviously, this doesn't take away at all from the gameplay or anything like that, but it's something that you're going to notice. Other videos that are used throughout the game, sometimes videos of like in-game engine stuff, that has not been upscaled, and it still contains like that low resolution look from 2004, 2005. I mean, it's a little bit jarring when you're kind of jumping in between, the gameplay, maybe some like really kind of semi-sharp video, these kind of bad looking videos, and then into like super smooth like gameplay, 60 frames a second type of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Again, this doesn't take away from the gameplay at all, and it's something that has been in other remasters from Aspyr, like Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that. Not a huge deal, but a little bit annoying. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection was seemingly rushed out the door in a poor state, and gamers rightfully panted for that. In this day and age, it's become an unfortunate norm for pretty much almost any game to be pushed out as soon as possible with plans just to fix things later. I can't understand how Aspyr thought that their handful of servers and these other issues at launch were just going to be overlooked or just swept under the rug. Star Wars Battlefront deserves so much better. I mean, sure, things are on a positive trajectory here, but we shouldn't have even reached this point. Now, I suppose the important thing now is that, yes, multiplayer is more or less functional and additional updates are coming. The single-player mode here is also pretty fun, but, people want to play this game with other people. That's like the main draw here. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not sure I could recommend this collection if you're coming here to looking for multiplayer. If you're looking for some kind of single-player experience, maybe. But yeah, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and turn things over to you guys. What do you think about this whole fiasco? Did you pick the game up on the Switch, Steam, PlayStation, Xbox? Did you play this game back in the day? Let us know your stories in the comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this video a like. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We've got tons of podcasts, video reviews, looks at Japanese games, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.